I'll grab my
Right.
There we go. Thank you.
Goodness. Scribblers, Kent Shawn here, and today you joined Bethany Votaw, Don White, Colin Clark in another smashing, cracking episode of Don't Drink and Live.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't Drink and Live is the show where we absolutely drink and live, write some flash fiction, share it with a live audience, and hopefully some of you will be emailing us so that we can read your flash on the air.
Or not, if we forget to send it in. Kent.
So, first I'd like to start off by saying thanks for coming, guys. I really appreciate it. How the heck have you all been?
Go on, Don.
Me?
Oh, yeah, you first.
I've been doing good. I'm surviving the weather we got here. It's a balmy 22. Got about a foot and a half of snow on the ground.
Yeah, same in the UK, but without the foot and a half. We've only got a deep frost. But yeah, I'm fine. Still writing, still here. Sorry, Ola.
Moved, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And there she went. That's a great face, though. I got to screen cap this real quick. And tease for later.
That's the thumbnail for next time.
She'll be back. Trust me. Holding a giant beer stein of doom. So what are you guys working on? What have you been writing lately? Colin, are you in the middle of a big project?
I'm still working on the steampunk project, but it's a toil. But you just keep chipping away. I know it's all going to come together eventually. Just keep putting the words down, and I'll get there. And also, I'm also working on a horror crime, psychological, with a serial killer, because I like serial killers.
Yeah, that sounds like it's right up your alley. And after reading your story for the last short story competition, which you did second place with the dang thing, I can see how that would be right up your alley. So are you leapfrogging these projects by draft, or are you just working on both of them at the same time?
I'm working on two at the same time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I work one day on one, another day on another, and then spend all night awake with all the ideas I didn't have during the day.
Isn't it weird? It seems like the ideas come when you stop thinking about it, and then you can't stop thinking about it.
Yep.
Okay, so
just ongoing projects for me.
So when do you see yourself completing either one of them, or are you putting deadlines on them?
I'm not putting anything on anything at the moment. Just getting through lockdown, and at least it's something to do. Doing nothing else.
Well, I'm excited about it. When you think you've got it figured out about when it's going to get done, please let me know.
Oh, I will. Yes. Rest assured.
Can't wait to check it out. After on the death of the old man, I was just blown completely away. To me, like, you went from being a cool guy I knew to like a serious writer to watch, and I'm so excited to see what you do next.
Thank you, sir.
Also, thanks a lot. Colin's going to help me judge the short story contest of doom.
Thank you.
I'll try to say the title once tonight, but I don't know if I get through it. Don is writing his first novel. Don, you want to tell us about what you're working on?
Well, right now I'm just doing a little world building, kind of brainstorming as I go. It's a fantasy. It'll be an action fantasy story. Don't have a title or anything yet, but working on it.
So when do you see yourself getting done with this thing? And when I say that, Don and I talk a lot, and Don knows I'm going, we don't want to make this thing take forever, man.
World building. You can world build forever probably. So I'm going to cut my world building off at probably March 1st, and then start my first draft, start working on the draft. And I'm hoping by the end of the year to have a working book going.
You will.
You will.
I will climb through the screen. Okay, so in case you don't know, Don White's a pretty new writer, but he decided to start things off with a bang. He's going to have his first short story published very soon in a short story anthology involving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, known as the Twisted 10.
The Twisted 10.
That short story anthology is called A Season of Darkness, coming out somewhere around March 1st, maybe something like that. What do you say, Bethany?
March 20th, but that was close.
Like I said, March 20th. I don't want you to.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Lots of good stories.
So Bethany, what are you up to, and when's it coming out?
I have a short story collection. It's not of doom, but it's close to. And my goal, I'm in the middle of editing it. It should be out sometime in June. And then Tracker is going to be released this year as well, probably November. So be prepared for that.
Super excited for Tracker.
So, and yeah, thank you, Kent. You gave me a lot of great feedback on both of my books. So that's also very exciting. You've gotten a sneak peek at both of them and the anthology, but Don got to see the anthology, what we did with that too. So
I'm the lucky one because I get to read all your stuff raw before everybody else has got to pick at it. I love doing that. So I'm thank you.
You're like, what's up with your tenses? We're present, past. And I'm like, yeah, that's just how I like first draft it. And you're like, oh, this is a first draft. I forgot to tell you that.
I don't mind first drafts from friends that know that I'm reading it as a first draft. I actually, in some of my videos, told people don't let people read first drafts. I'm usually talking to a beginner audience who's just showing it to somebody random, hoping to get some positive feedback on their writing. That's not a good idea. But if you should, God damn, I did it again. However, if you show a first draft to a writer friend who knows the stage that you're in, they can sometimes tell you if you're on the right track. I'm doing that right now with my novel Charged. I have it to 2 people that are very close to me, and they are going to let me know if I'm onto something, so I don't spend a year writing a trilogy of books in that world. So, what have I got going on? Oh, glad you asked. This is going to be the time when I reveal the title to my short story collection that is coming out also in March. And this is a collection of some of the rawest and most serious stories that I ever wrote. And the name of the collection is going to be Evil Grows in the Dark. Because every story in it has something to do with something bad that's going on right under the surface of things that if it was only brought to light, it could be stopped. And Bethany edited all of these stories, except one, because I'm not sure I want her to put her name on it in case there's a riot or I'm kicked out of polite society. So there's 4 short stories in the collection right now. I might add a 5th just because I'm overly ambitious. But Lydia is going to be the headlining short story, the one that I did my Working with an Editor series with Bethany. Another story called Anniversary. A story called Something Missing about a zombie cop.
I loved that one.
Okay.
I really loved that one.
And finally, the story that very likely will get me put in prison, Redemption.
Great story.
So, yeah, you say, but your mind works a lot like mine.
Twisted.
Others might not be so thrilled. We're going for it. Bethany encouraged me to be brave on that one. I actually sought her guidance on that, and she said, go for it. So I'm going for it.
It's kind of like someone often says, write bravely, and they just kind of need to, take their own medicine.
Yeah.
That's not all I've got going on this year. Let me tell you about it real quick before we start writing some flash fiction. I also have my first debut novel out this year called Blind Spot. 3 of my beta readers happen to be in this chat. So all 3 of these people have read the book. It went through an extensive rewrite based off of your beta reader feedback. Thank you so much, guys.
Anytime. It was great. I'm even more excited for.
And because 2 of my beta readers flipped out over a character that I really didn't know was going to be that big a deal, I actually wrote a sequel to Blind Spot called Forbidden. That's going to come out in December. So this year, 3 books from the Kent Shawn gang, which it's kind of funny that it's a pen name. And like when I think of Kent Shawn, I think of my kids, my dogs, my family, my friends, everybody in my Discord group. I always feel like it's like this corporate gang, this body of people like all working together to make this stuff happen. So thanks all of you. And it's all coming out and I can't wait to do it. Want to give a shout out too for something you need to be looking for tomorrow. morning on Sunday. It's a lot of different time zones, but Orla Hart's audiobook anthology.
Woo!
Come check it out. She did an amazing thing, bringing tons of author tubers together. All of them are going to put out an audiobook for you to hear, a piece of flash, around 1,000 words long. That's somewhere between 5 and 6, 7 minutes of your time to come listen to these. You got to go check them out. There's a bunch of talented people involved. Thank you, Orla, for organizing and orchestrating this. I don't know what we'd do without you.
True.
Thank you, Orla. It is so much fun, and I've discovered a lot of new writers through her last one.
Okay. We're going to have to start talking about Don't Drink and Live, guys. We got to get to this flash fiction. Because I think that's what people are here to do. They're here to write a piece of flash and to be brave. That's you in the chat. To be brave and send your story to me at kentshawnauthor@gmail.com and have your flash read online by any of these people. No, I'll read it if you want. Why do you assume that I'm okay with reading? Anyway, so here's the rules. What we're going to do is first we're going to brainstorm, you in the chat and us here in the live stream. We're going to brainstorm our best idea for a couple of prompts to do our first piece of flash on. Now, once we decide on the prompt, and since it's my channel, I'm going to decide. And we will give ourselves 5 minutes to shoot the shit, discuss it, and potentially have a drink or two. So once we decided on that topic, we will do 2 8-minute sprints to complete it. There's no word count limit, but I really think you should be cautious how long you try to make your piece. Otherwise, by the end of the second 8 minutes, you ain't going to have... Wait, I'm making sure Angie's not watching. She gets really mad at me when I cuss. Anything. So, who has an idea for a prompt? You in the chat, hit me up. Let me know right now. What's a subject, a word, a setting, anything you can think of that'll get this gang rolling on a brand new piece of flash fiction.
Yeah. Come on, Adrian.
Yeah, come up with something good.
Oh, yeah, Adrian was our last
He's
guest.
here as well somewhere, I'm sure. Yes, he is.
He's here.
Also, I'd just like to say tonight, Conor McGregor fights Dustin Diamond Poirier in Abu Dhabi. I'll be watching that later. And just in honor of you, Conor, I'll be having a glass of the proper 12. I think that's for, isn't that for Crumlin in Ireland? Isn't that what that's off of? Anyway, Conor, good luck tonight. Although I really like Dustin Diamond Poirier as well. They're both amazing fighters, amazing guys. They help out a lot of people, do a lot of charitable work. That is when Conor does charitable work when he's not in jail. But they're going to be fighting tonight. Okay, let's see.
Ooh.
I've already got some recommendations here. Possession was a theme that missed out in the audiobook anthology. That's not bad.
Adam had something up there too.
Opportunity to write about really shitty role models.
Oh, that's for Adam's thing.
This can't be about me. Adam. Okay, Adam, where are you at? You meet your hero and they don't like you. That might be at the top of the list right now. What else we got? Got
Dinosaurs.
They could be a hero.
Right. Naked dinosaurs now. Yeah.
All I instantly thought of was Barney.
Oh, my goodness. Well, Richard was asking me earlier if I will have another setting in the care home and a possible naked granny. And I said, you know, Richard, anything could happen.
You know, I've got a cool story started somewhere with a granny in an old care home who has plastic knuckles, which she uses to crush the testicles of a very nasty nurse.
Oh my God.
It's a comedy, as you can tell.
Not shocked a bit, Colin. Not shocked a bit.
That's why it's just a bit of a short story. So we're in a draw.
Naked dinosaurs.
Super grannies. All right, we got some decent recommendations here. Where are you, Jared? Jared Simmons, I know you're lurking. I know you've got a recommendation. My buddy Jared, he's always there. He doesn't always say anything. Speak up, Jared. Who else? Come on, we need a couple more. Who's got something? How about from my guests here? Any of you have an idea for a prompt for flash fiction?
Not a clue.
Not me either.
Flying.
What?
Flying.
Flying.
Flying. Mm.
Flying. I don't know if that's better than super grannies.
I agree.
Going commando.
That's Adrian. It's got to be. Yeah.
Going commando.
Adrian, you appear to have a particular type of story that you're burning. I feel like Collins could crush.
How about naked grandmas going commando?
That does meld the two.
Burning from Jared.
Ooh, we have some decent ideas here. We're gonna have to make a decision.
Hear no evil.
Hello, Tanya. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for dropping by. We're about to write some flash. Hope you got time. I actually I think I'm going for Adam's idea right now. Does anybody have any more ideas you want to put up in front of me? I think his seems like it has the most potential for chaos and madness, which is something we like around here. Anybody?
Nope.
The wheels are turning. I'm trying to think of a way to make dinosaurs happen within that, but I'll just let the dinosaurs go.
We need dinosaurs. All right. I think we are. Adam, I think you're the winner tonight. I think you meet your hero. They don't like you. So now, guys, for those that have just joined the chat, the rules are I'm going to set a 5-minute timer, and you got to come up with something to write about that in that 5-minute time. Then we're going to do 2 8-minute sprints separated by a short conversation in which we detail how much we're not getting on very well. And then we will finish and read some of these right here in front of everyone.
Pen and paper.
We're going to put it up as a prompt. That's what we're doing. And now it's the most fun time of the evening. Bye-bye, Orla. Thank you for stopping in. And
Orla.
Bye, Orla.
Can't wait to see the audiobook collection tomorrow. I got a little block of time set aside to watch it. Okay. Here we go. The most exciting part of the evening. Can Kent up the timer? Never a sure thing. Hey! Okay, so that's 5 minutes. 5 minutes to talk about what we're gonna do. I haven't got a damn idea right now, but I'm still. Adam, I am gonna take down your thing because I'm covering up Don's face, and I feel really weird about that. So it's meet your hero, and they don't like you. You meet your hero, and they don't like you. I immediately think of like somebody meeting a superhero, and they're.
That's what I thought of.
I was thinking too.
Okay, now I gotta think of something
That's the idea we should all shelve now, because that's obviously occurred to all of us.
Well, I'm always talking about that, man. I'd call it my power of 10 thing or rule of 10, where the first thing you think of is your brain trying to solve the problem easy. So you think of something that's like easy, could have been done. So I always make myself come up with 10 things, but obviously I don't have time for that right now.
Nope.
I'll be happy if I come up with one more.
I think, you know what? Everybody's got maybe it was a hero growing up, like a sports star comes to mind next. That's obvious. Then it could be
I was thinking my dad.
your dad doesn't like you.
No, like just like the hero, and then it gets like dark, like oh no, and so I don't want to do that. I'm aiming for something lighthearted. My dad likes me, and I like him, so it works out.
Okay. What do you got, Don? What are you thinking?
Oh, only thing I was thinking was the villain. He was a hero, but he turns out to be the villain. That's all I could think of.
That could be cool.
What's another thing a hero could be? Not every hero.
I've come up with an East End gangster who's a hero to a younger lad.
Okay, like a disillusionment kind of thing. Like I thought you were cool, and you're really
Well, he doesn't. Obviously, the villain's not going to like it. Sorry, the supposed villain's not going to like it.
legit.
What if
Now I know
time
why.
travel guy?
Now I know why.
Okay, I got an idea.
I do too.
Let's hear it.
It involves someone saving the dinosaurs.
Instantly, I just thought of the La Brea Tar Pits, and I don't know why.
Are they traveling back in time to do that?
Maybe their hero is the T-Rex, but you know,
Hero's the T-Rex, and they don't like you.
I can already. It's true. I can kind of see. I don't know. This is going to be one of those where I'm going to have to like write it and then be like, wow, this didn't stick. And then hopefully have enough time to write something else. We'll see.
You know, you know what I just thought of? Dolphins are assholes.
True.
Allow me to explain. First, I'm going to drink this shot, which, by the way, I did go find out. These are actually 100 milliliters. Remember last time I tried to chug one like it was a shot? It's 100 milliliters. So I was like, why is that? Why was that hard? Anyway, just a second. I'm going to explain why dolphins are assholes.
Okay. Need that shot first.
Okay. Dolphins are assholes. Dolphins commit gang rape. They the crap out of each other. They are exclusionary. Like they'll pick one dolphin and all of them will pick on it and hurt it. They're jerks. They're absolute jerks. So are otters. And I know they're cute and they're smart and we all want to like them. But guess what? They're assholes. What if you met a dolphin? I mean, why not, right?
You know, I love how our minds all went to the same place of superheroes, and now they are all over the place. So
we should go back to the superheroes.
What if you're an actual dolphin superhero?
you're on to something.
No, I'm going with the hero thing, but I'm just going to take it down a route that's a little bit off kilter from what you would think of with a traditional superhero. Superhero, you know, the superhero motif is old, man. Those are demigods. They're all through time. They're the archetypes, the heroes. No, I'm not going to talk about the hero's journey. Shut up. I didn't do it. But they're archetypical. They're things that stick around. So I'm gonna dissect. I'm gonna dissect a beloved folk hero.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I'm going to do. You guys are going to just have to be surprised because my mind's going in like 12 directions.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not promising that any of this is going to be any good. I'm just going to do.
I haven't even opened up the document yet. I'm sitting here writing on a pad.
That was fast 5 minutes, man.
It was very fast.
Okay, 8 hours.
Wait, I gotta get my Word doc up.
That'll do.
All right. I'm not going to start quite yet. Okay.
Good.
Everybody. Oh, just Ava. What's up, Ava? Thanks for showing up. Granny mocks her superhero son in his cape. The cane. That's a secret from Trips Dinosaur. Holy cow. That's exactly who I was doing. How did you get that, Adam? Oh, man.
I'm going for John Bunyan or something.
I don't like it as much now that he knows what it is. He's not a folk hero. He's a cartoon fox. Oodle-lolly, golly, what a day.
He's a cartoon fox.
I watched that tonight. I think my daughter went through a Robin Hood phase. Maybe it was my son. I can't remember. All right. Guys, I got to tell you something right now. It's time to write. So you guys in the chat, you got 8 minutes.
Okay.
First sprint. I'm good. So for the first sprint, that's half. That's half your time. So we're going to stop and talk about it for a couple minutes, and then we're going to go again, and that's your finishing time. So if you're completely screwed in the first 8 minutes, maybe you have an opportunity to fix it in the second 8 minutes. Last time, I wrote like 150 words and then stopped and went, oh, no, this is better, and completely started back. But don't worry. It's going to be great. No one in this chat or no one in this live stream except me is going to make fun of you. All right. Let's get some Word documents ready.
I'm nervous.
Writers, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'll be ready in a minute. Just get Wavemaker up. It's just about. Oh my goodness, what's happened?
Uh-oh.
I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm terrified. Yeah.
The good news is none of us take each other seriously, so it's fine.
It went pretty good last time.
Yeah, exactly. It's all good fun.
I'm rolling up the sleeves. It's happening.
I'm trying to decide how like intense and dirty I want to go with this. Like my brain is working on something pretty diabolical. Then I'm like, daughter watches these.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for reminding me. Yes, that goes for us all then. Yep.
I have to be careful when I do.
I'm in trouble.
Like I'm putting out Blind Spot this year, honey, and Forbidden. She's like, oh, I can't wait to read them. I'm like, you can't read either of them.
Yeah, we have to wait till you're 18.
Yeah, not for a while. Yeah.
She's like, at least I can read the short story collection. I'm like,
Chat, are you ready?
Yeah.
To me, you're ready with some thumbs up, chatters.
Oh, I'm a
Did I just disappear? Huh.
All right, here we go. On your mark. It's next.
I'm nervous. Right.
I like hearing typewriters and typing. I don't know why everybody mutes, but I'm gonna.
Oh, that was never 8 minutes.
Well,
Yes. Well, whose idea was this?
All right. I'm feeling like I should have done 10 minutes.
Yeah.
this is great. We're just gonna get some mayhem. I'm excited.
Okay. So how did it go?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Don, tell me how you're doing.
I was just writing. I had no idea where I'm going. I'm just writing.
That's kind of the point, Don.
I have no idea where I'm going.
Richard got 401 words. Richard probably started writing this before we started the stream.
I doubt it. Although he did say he went early a little bit on accident, but he did offer to delete them. But I said don't.
Nah.
I would like to propose a toast to everybody that has the guts to do this because it's really hard to come up with that fast.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cool. Oh, a mouthful of Vimto, one of tea.
I have 360-ish words. Does it involve dinosaurs? Yes. Am I going to have to go in a different direction? Also, yes. So we'll see what I can do in the next 8 minutes.
Oh dear.
I got 156 words, but they're locked.
I've got 125 words.
I got
Lord knows where I'm going from here.
But that's kind of the point. It's supposed to be hard. And I like the additional challenge of liquid lubrication.
liquid lubrication.
See you next time. I'll make sure I've got some.
That was alliteration. Other people.
I love a good alliteration.
All right, let's see. How are you doing in the chat? How's everybody doing?
All right, back up. That's better. Let me see.
160 words. My hero just showed up for Adam.
Your hero better do something.
Ooh, incredible idea. Sui did come up with a pretty decent idea for the last one.
I agree.
Richard Holiday is counting every word twice.
Can we do that? I can double and triple it. That would give me a lot more words.
A lot more words doesn't mean a better story.
Adrian smells much better.
Well, thank goodness Adrian showered. I was wondering what was going on.
Can you smell things through a condenser microphone?
I didn't even know it was his birthday.
I shower every month, whether I need it or not.
Yep, it was.
Apparently, mega sarcasm, not to be confused with regular sarcasm or even.
That was good old British sarcasm.
All right. So I'm going to tell you right now, I wrote that really slow and I don't know why. Like, the thing that I was crafting was not difficult for me to craft. I know exactly what I'm doing and I know exactly what's going to happen. But for some reason, I felt like I was really stuck in the mud on getting the words out. I'm not sure why. Could have something to do with this.
Yeah, that could be.
Whereas with me, it's just I haven't a clue what I'm writing. I'm just writing.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only way to do it.
Okay, Bethany. What's up, Bethany?
I went the dinosaur route and it's just not going to work, but I found a way to kind of twist the conversation and the ending, and I just got to like rearrange the time. But don't worry, there will be a homage to the dinosaurs. Fear not.
Okay. So Richard's requesting a 10-minute sprint next time, and I just, even though
Richard.
That won't help.
like, I don't think I want to do that. I think I want it to be what it is, you know? Like, you got to get to the end. You can't change your mind 50 times. Let me think about it. We got a couple minutes here before we do the next one.
Sui.
Next sprint, 175 minutes. Not sprinting.
And I know Sui. She is drinking like a monster. Like she is in this whole competition fully and completely.
Adam, it's not about whether you like it or not. It's about whether I like it or not.
No, Adam, I've read your short stories. You're a great writer. Flash fiction is fun, and you have a very intense and like methodical way of crafting and writing your stories. Throw that out the window. Just have some fun.
So what I want everybody to do is to dare to be imperfect and just get it out. And I think that when we're all doing it together, I think it makes everybody feel a little bit better about being perfect, and just getting it out and just throwing an idea on the page and seeing what it looks like. You can always go back and fix it later. Everybody knows that you're not doing like your finished product thing here. This is all about just challenging yourself to have the bravery to just let each sentence take you to where it leads. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, I gotta have you on more, Colin. I like your stuff, brother.
I feel silly, to be quite honest, because I've had no sleep last night either. So I don't know, 30 odd hours.
Ooh.
I love Adrian's next comment. Did you see it yet?
Last time.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to suck. This is fun. This is also like how I write flash fiction. I just write a whole bunch of random stuff and hope that something sticks. Spoiler, I don't think this next story is going to stick, but it'll still be fun.
Well, I think even a bad experiment is a good experiment. In other words, like sometimes I had to, so I'm about to start a hardcore rewrite on my new novel Forbidden. And I took a wrong turn. And so from where that wrong turn started to 30,000 words later, it's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. I couldn't get there without that. So like sometimes I feel like writing something bad, it's like we're getting the bad words out. And I don't know, man. I just think the best stuff happens when you're working. When you got your butt in your seat and your fingers on your keyboard. I end every video with that because I'm serious. Like just get your butts in the seats and your fingers on the keyboards and magic will eventually happen.
Eventually, you just got to write a lot of junk sometimes.
It got really serious and kind of creepy there.
Yeah. I've been doing that for 40 odd years now. It's about time the magic happened.
Some of the figurative language in some of the figurative languages on the man, I just had a lot of booze all at once. On the death of the old man, just knocked my socks off, man. I think the magic's already there. It's weird. It's like I want to pick your brain on how to finish prose. I feel real strong about coming up with interesting stories. What I don't feel strong about, Colin, you read my stuff. I don't feel good about like putting out a polished, finished.
I don't agree with that. I think your stuff. We have different styles, but very, very similar twisted brains. I think, but, in places. I'm not twisted all the time. God, I've got an epic fantasy stuck away somewhere that one day, perhaps, before I'm 92, another 30 years.
It's funny. I don't write any epic fantasy, but Don and I are the fan of all the same stuff. Like whenever we get and chat together, we're always going, God damn, we read all the same stuff. And it's weird. Don is jumping right into that pool, whereas I am dangled on the edges, feeling that I'm better at kind of contemporary suspenseful stuff. But it always has an element of the fantastic in it. It always has an element of the unreal in it. I almost never write anything that is just completely mundane real world. I almost can't.
Well, and I feel like, Don, you can stop me whenever you want, just say like veto, but I got to read, it was supposed to be flash fiction, but it read like almost like a prologue Don sent me of this fantasy of, the guy stealing something in the castle. And it was very captivating. It reminded me of like this like mix between like Robin Hobb and Sanderson. And so I'm very excited to see what Don's voice is going to be like, because I feel like you're writing all of this junk right now, Don, just to get your voice. But when you get it, it's going to be great. I feel like you're there already.
Well, you just put me in some serious, serious up there, man. Hobb and Sanderson. Wow.
It had a very unique voice, and I wanted to know what happened. And I think if you get structure down, the voice and the prose is going to be easy.
Okay.
I mean, like, not easy, but
I will say something about Don's writing that's a giant compliment, especially somebody that's hadn't been doing it for very long. It's clear.
yeah.
Like, I read it and I don't have to reread a sentence 20 times to figure it out. A lot of people send me their stuff that are new. And man, it's like deciphering hieroglyphics. And I know they're trying hard, but it's like they haven't fit the puzzle pieces. But because Don is an extensive reader, he kind of comes to the game knowing the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like his ear is tuned to hear the good and the bad. What do you think?
Yeah, especially if you enjoy reading fantasy, which I do and always have done. I mean, I still remember reading Julian May way back, which is The Many-Colored Land. Did you read that one?
No, I haven't gotten that one.
That's strange, because you wouldn't think that's actually an epic fantasy, but it is. I think it goes through 4 different books, that one. I mean, the other one I like Terry Goodkind.
Oh, yeah. Dude,
his books.
That's all the truth.
Wizard's First Rule took me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wandered into the weeds in some of the sequels.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a style of writing fantasy that you hadn't heard. And now with George R.R. Martin and some others, like you're starting to see more of that kind of gritty.
Also the visual of the women in the red leather suits, that was.
Yes, it never leaves you, does it? That ever.
That's not a lasting impression on me.
Yeah, well, I introduced my eldest son to that, and he's now read, right the way through. I think he's still pumping them out, isn't he? Unless he is now not with us anymore.
I think I missed the last 2, but I got
to. Who's that? Who's that? Goodkind?
Goodkind.
Yeah, he passed away.
I thought maybe he had. It's a shame. But yeah, so Lewis is 37 now and still reading fantasy and still painting Warhammer miniatures.
I love Warhammer.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, I used to actually run business on eBay, buying and selling.
Nice.
So, and painting.
All right, it's time to quit stalling. We got to finish the story.
I think we talk later. We can talk more.
Okay, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to take the recommendation and I'm going to give it 10 minutes. I'm adjusting the timer to 10. I actually probably don't need it because I know how to finish mine, but I'm going to be kind. And God, I have to share my screen again. It's just so frightening for me every time that I do it.
I'm starting over, so we'll see.
No, I'm not. I can handle machine gun fire, jumping out of airplanes, but sharing my timer.
That's a tough one.
Hey, 10 minutes. All right, scribblers. Is everybody ready? You ready in the chat?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Begin. If I can find where I put the document. There's like 9 things open on my screen. No idea. Can't find my story. Ah!
That's time.
Well, that sucks.
Ah,
Of course it sucks.
oh, no. Can't be time.
Mistakes and all. It's
Mhm.
time to put them in. I'm going to type out my email address here.
Oh, jolly good.
It's jolly good.
Yeah, it is. All 341 words.
That's legit.
Nowhere near.
All right. What did I get? How many words? I don't know. Let me look. Let's see. I got 412.
Jeez.
And I like it. Which is funny because I didn't like the last one and everybody else liked it. So maybe this is horrible. So typos and all, I'm going to share my story with everybody. And my fellow Don't Drink and Live folks are going to send their stories in. And we're going to just enjoy them together. Now, I'm going to offer to the authors here, you are welcome to read your own story. I do want to put it up on the screen so people can look at it. Don't worry about typos. Don't worry about missing a comma or something like that. Nobody here is going to judge you. Well, I might judge you. I honestly really want people to give me the raw product and let's look at it. If you would like me to read your story, I'm happy to do it. I tend to fix errors as I read, so it actually might work out for you. If not, just let me know. Oh my!
How's your Cockney?
I'm getting emails like crazy right now. This is amazing. Okay, so how did we do?
Oh, useless.
Colin, what do you mean?
I nearly got to the end. If I could have had another 2 or 3 minutes, I'd have got to the finish. But it would have still only been 350 words, 400 perhaps.
I don't know if you guys can hear this little beep, 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 beep. It's people sending stories. So this is interesting.
But fun, yeah.
So I almost didn't make it to the end either. I had another little moment I wanted to create, and then I thought I have to think to make it, and I stopped it, and I was able to get to the end. It is understanding if you don't get to the end. If you didn't get to the end of the story after I'm done reading it, if you're in the chat, just type a quick summary of what happens at the end, or if you're here live streaming with me, then feel free to tell us what you meant to happen at the end, and that's great. And by the way, guys, everyone here that got a complete thought out in 16 minutes, or what is it, really 20 minutes?
18.
18.
Minutes, words, numbers.
It's that extra 2 minutes that stopped us.
Whatever it is that you managed to get out in that time, you're a freaking hero. So I want you to feel good about the fact that you did it and feel good about sharing it with us. So those of you that didn't finish, send it anyway. Just send it. And we're going to check it out. We're going to talk about it. We're all going to enjoy it together.
Mm-hmm.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. You can read mine.
See, you know, a man with courage. That's a freaking man.
I keep looking at your little motto, right bravely.
Hey, I'm not joking around about that thing. So there's like a really weird story. Like the first critique group I tried to be part of, when I gingerly stuck my toe out into trying to meet other writers. It's a while back. I got kicked out of my critique group. So I wrote a couple of stories and I brought them, and we were supposed to read excerpts. So my first story, none of you have read, was about Cain and Abel, but I made them gay for each other. I don't know why I did that. Probably not a good idea. But I just wanted to try something weird, right? Whenever I write short stories, I try to do things that are hard. Like you think, I don't know how that could work. So I read a couple of pages of that and was met with stony silence. Then I read and submitted to the others to read my short story Redemption. They very politely asked me to not return to the critique group.
Wow.
So
Me.
I went another 3 years not talking to any other writers.
I don't think you were talking to any writers to begin with, Ken, to be honest.
Thank you for saying that. But I really thought I'd screwed up, and I was trying to tackle big subjects. You know, I was trying to tackle like hard things that would make me uncomfortable. Because if I'm not uncomfortable, then where's the suspense for the reader?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you guys think. I don't try to be actively offensive. That's never the goal. And you guys have read my stuff. You know, I'm not. That is not what I'm doing. I'm trying to find a way to tackle a subject that's uncomfortable or that's hard to execute to make the people feel what I want them to feel. All right, let me see if I can share this thing. I've got your document. Would you like to read it, Colin?
What, read mine?
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't take me long, would it? Well, if I read it, I have to switch screens off, whereas you've probably got some genius technical way of reading while not switching yourself off.
I'm going to put it up on the screen for you.
Oh, even better then. Yeah, go on, I'll read it. As I said, won't take long.
Let's see if I did it.
Oh, you did. Very good.
All right.
Oh, now I've lost it, or it's gone.
I'll get it back.
Oh, good. Right. All right then.
Jeez. All right. Here we go. First story of the night. Colin Clark, ladies and gentlemen. Bring it.
Okay. He was a real diamond geezer, was Billy Dunn. A true East End hard man from the top of his shaven head to the steel toe caps of his spit and polished shoes. When he got out of his murk and straightened up to his full 6'7", you could hear sighs of passion from all the girls down the street. And, let's face it, some of the lads as well. It was Tuesday morning when I got word that he wanted to see me. Now, I know it was a Tuesday because the postman had been whistling Bowie, and he's a stickler for his daily whistling. Monday was Coldplay. Wednesday was Vivaldi. He was eclectic. He has eclectic musical taste, our postman. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, I got a phone call from Big Billy's assistant. Mr. Dunn received your letters and agreed to meet with you on Friday. He will? I said. Yes, Friday the 13th, 3 p.m. sharp. Don't be late. Nobody I knew would believe he'd agreed to meet with me. I mean, I've been a big fan of Billy's work for as long as I could remember. The Shepherd's Bush bank job, 3 times not guilty at the Old Bailey, and not forgetting a photograph with Her Majesty the Queen. Funny that, him hobnobbing with royalty and the like. That hadn't happened since Prince Andrew and that American geezer. Friday came and you bet I was on time. 5 minutes early, in fact. His personal assistant showed me into the pub and pointed to the booth at the rear of the place. I was so nervous I could hardly speak when the big man stood up to greet me. He actually smiled. Mr. Robbins, he said, with his voice as rough as a file on steel. Or should I say Detective Inspector Robbins. His smile slid like melting wax as he walked and spat at my feet. What the fuck you doing here, copper? I was a bit taken aback. That's as far as I got.
You went into so much detail for the time limit.
Yeah, that's why I didn't finish.
This is written at like 10,000 word story level of detail, or even novel level of detail.
I love the prose, though.
It's
Thank you.
amazing.
Yeah.
So what happened?
What happened at the end was, of course, he's a copper and he's a fan of this crook. He's been following his careers for years, and he actually has been on the take from the villain himself, but the villain didn't realise it. So his personal assistant comes in and shoots him. That was the end.
Wow, you had a lot more to go.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's a good 200 or 300 words to go to finish that.
Okay. So, well, you write good fast. There's a lot of like great descriptions in there that I have to like mull over. They don't pop out to me to come out. And really impressed with like the level of detail you went to in your story.
That's the bit I find easiest.
Oh yeah. So you would say that your strength is kind of that nice narrative style that's really flowing and good description.
And I've discovered that I'm actually beginning to really like first person.
Yeah.
You remember when I first was writing the short story, I'd never done first person before. I didn't like it because I don't like to read it, and yet I quite like reading my own. Oh, you God! I don't know.
Great though, man. I thought it was amazing. I wanted to know what happened, and I think it's a little bit a part of this challenge. It's kind of new to all of us, really. Is how do you, on the spot, get from point A to point B in your story? So, like for me, what I like about this exercise is that it makes me choose which things to leave out.
Yeah, I should have left the postman bit out because that took up a chunk of time.
But I love that.
I loved it too.
So did I. That's pretty.
But then you got to ask yourself, which isn't a normal writing question. You got to ask yourself, which is more important, the climax of the story or this cool bit about the postman? And I have trouble with that in my editing life because I'll have these cool little bits that I love so much, just a couple lines of description. In Blind Spot, I had this thing where I'm talking about like how the streets of LA used to be before a curfew was put on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to chop all that out, man, because we want to get on to what happens with the main character next. But it was, I thought, some of my better writing. But you know where it is? It's in the trash bin now. And I think that this exercise is really cool because we have to make those choices in a very short amount of time, which is really not reasonable for a writer. You're supposed to be able to mull over it and rewrite it. But what really stuck out to me about your story is I felt like I was somewhere talking to someone, like in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Like the picture was painted so fast, man, and it's so impressive.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, we're off to a pretty damn good start.
Yeah.
Who would like to be next?
How can anybody follow that?
Colin should pick.
Well, I pick Kent.
Me?
Yes, you.
Hey, don't freaking threaten me with a good time, boy. Do this. Thanks, guy. I got me a little bit of a story here. Let me find it. Colin, that was great though, man. I was literally sucked in from the first sentence. So
yep.
Yeah, now I've got to sit with the damn thing and actually write it to finish because I can't leave it like that.
You know, maybe I'll throw a page up on my website and do Don't Drink and Live, and then let people go back and like retool them a little bit and put some Flash up there. Because sometimes I feel like Flash isn't. I don't think enough writers just challenge themselves to just write a scene, man. As think of it like this: if you're an archer, every day you don't go shoot a tournament. You know, you do deliberate practice on your draw, your release, your technique, your stance, your fitness, all that stuff. And I think that sometimes writers, I got to write a novel. I got to write a story. What if you just did Flash and you said, hey, I want to work on my description. Hey, I want to work on this. Hey, I want to work on that. That's that deliberate practice. And I think that
down to Bethany that I ever tried Flash fiction. So,
well, she's the god mistress of.
Yes, she is indeed. It's the goddess of Flash.
All right, Don, what do you got to say, man, before we go on to the next story? You got something for me, brother?
Me? Did you say me?
Don.
I didn't hear you. Bad hearing.
You got any comments? I mean, you're really new to Flash. Like, how do you feel about it?
It's hard. It's pretty short and sweet, right?
You just don't really get much of a chance to make your point.
Right.
You want it to be short and sweet, but sometimes it just ends up being sour. But that's okay. That's why we edit.
Right.
All right, guys, it's my turn. I have to blow it up because I don't have my glasses on and I'm old and I can't see. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Go. I don't even remember what I wrote. This should be interesting.
The tax collector turned Mother's last copper in his hand, a wry grimace on his face. My old sheriff's lost his patience with your tardiness. It's the jail for you. My mother grips my arm so tight it hurts. You took my will and my father. Now there's no one to work in the village anymore. But now you work for my lord sheriff. Let the child go. We'll take her too. My mother sobs, and I tremble in time with her. Rough men take her from me, and I collapse to the dirt. They drag her dust. They drag her, dust rising from her heels. What's left of the village's men are silent, shifting from foot to guilty foot. They're glad that they can still pay, glad their wives and children are safe, at least till the next collection. At least till then. As they toss my mother over a horse like a sack, a hiss of displaced hair makes me jump, and the tax collectors to duck their heads. Arrows rain through the village square. The man who took my mother spins back towards me, a cloth-yard shaft buried in his muddy eye, his face a mask of powerful surprise. In moments, it's over. The ground littered with the sheriff's men, blood runs in rivulets pooling in the hoofprints, little ruby mirrors that reflect an indifferent sky. The villagers cower. Some men bustle their wives and littles indoors, while others piss themselves and freeze. Salvation can be an intimidating melody, and every ear in the village is tuned to danger. Whoa, my computer yelled at me. The man from the reward signs stalks into the square. His greens are dulled by mud and wear, and his eyes bright like the wolves. Men come with him, unshaved and wary. They heal their alpha. If a villager twitches, he earns an arrow raised in his direction. String taut with deadly intent. The hood. The whisper flies round the village like a hiss, like the arrow. That's a shitty sentence. In a hiss, like the arrows that slew the sheriff's men. My scream breaks the tension. My mother is still pinned to the tax collector's horse, the shaft rising from the small of her back like an evil tree. The man with the hood looks down on me as he passes. They collect the money and give half back to the village men. The hooded man spits on the ground. Your weakness brought this on you. He sneers at me and retrieves his arrow from my mother's back.
Bloody hell. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was good.
Really.
I liked it. For once, I liked the thing I wrote. That's actually really rare.
Talk about description, setting the scene. There you go.
I feel like your prose is constantly improving, but like, I love Robin Hood. He's one of my favorite stories. Why would you do this?
Well, one of the things that I've noticed in real life, and Don can echo me on this as a fellow service member, no matter how good you want to be, when you come in with weapons, things happen that nobody wants to happen, even the wielder of the weapon. And that's why I'm always saying nobody wants peace more than a soldier, because we know what happens when you put guys like us against bad guys, because people live everywhere. There's no like clean, empty place where we face each other. So if you're going to start shooting back, you have to recognize that there's people caught in the middle that don't have anything to do with all this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I wanted to base this on, is like, there's no way Robin Hood and his merry men just went around, if they were a real thing, you know, like, let's suspend our disbelief. If they were merry men going around doing all this stuff, there's no way there's no collateral damage. There's no way it's just the sheriff's men that get their hands dirty. So
That was heavy.
Yes, those men in tights. That's the point.
Men in tights.
anyway, that's what I was trying to get at with the story, and with Adam's amazing prompt of what happens when you meet your hero and they don't like you. Is I wanted the villagers to feel disdain from Robin Hood. Like, he was like, why exactly do I have to stand up for your freedom? Why won't you take the risk? Why do you let this lady get dragged off in your midst? That's why I described those men standing around dancing from foot to foot, watching her go, just worrying about theirs. That was the idea.
It worked.
It was good. It was deep, but man, that hurt.
I'm sorry. I like Robin Hood too.
You just need to watch the Disney movie again, Bethany. You'll be fine.
Okay, recover from this.
Rabbit.
No, that was good. I felt like I was there. I felt uncomfortable, especially because it was a normal start and I knew it was Flash. So I was like, how is this going to end? Like, I knew something was happening, something was building, and it was just a matter of like, when and what. And it was a bittersweet thing when I think everyone was hoping it would be sweet. And that was kind of like that gut punch that Flash needs to have.
No, I wasn't expecting sweet. This is Kent we're on about.
Hey,
I agree with Richard there.
okay.
I don't know how he gets stuff that good out on his first go either.
Okay. Okay. If you want to see me write sweet, go watch the Orla Hearts anthology, because I wrote it about my daughter. And it's creepy too, but when I start talking about her, thinking about her, it gets real sweet real quick.
That's cute.
You might want to rephrase that one, Richard. Apparently, he'll be up all night polishing this one off.
You need to be more specific, Richard.
Polishing that one. Yeah, I've got it now. Yeah, sorry.
That can mean more than one thing.
Yeah.
All right. Who is next in the shoot? I think we're going Don White.
I got to follow you guys. Man, come on. I only had 180 words.
Flash fiction.
I'm a slow writer. I'm a slow writer.
The game. If it's your first time throwing horseshoes, don't expect to beat the people that played horseshoes before. You know, hey, Don, do I have your?
Probably not, because I didn't do anything.
And indeed, Adam. Yes.
I wrote it on. I had to write it on Google Docs, because I don't have Word on this machine yet.
That's fine. Send me a Google link.
Want me to just share it?
Yeah, just share
To
it.
you?
I copied and pasted mine in an email. I didn't even send you a document. Do you want me to send it in a document?
I don't care. Copy and paste it in an email.
Okay.
I just copied and pasted as well. Because mine's in WaveMaker, because I couldn't get Scrivener up.
If I get confused, I'll call James and Angie in, and they'll be able to do it in seconds.
All right, stand by one. If you want to go to somebody else.
So rude.
Sorry.
No, okay. Let's do another one while he's sending. That's no problem. You know what I'm gonna say. Bethany Votaw.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Bethany Votaw. I'm smart. My husband's grad school graduate. Everything's going for me. I've got short story collections. I'm amazing. And here is my piece of flash. Here we go. When are you going to talk to your husband and just sticking his head in, Bethany?
I don't know. He's over there playing Dungeon Defenders. So
Nice.
he's very focused. He's shaking his head.
Video game?
A computer game, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I have no, I like games, and I don't have any time. I have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I've played like a few minutes of it. Since I decided to publish 3 books this year, it's been a little tough to play.
I want to play that one so bad.
I do too, man.
I have other games that I'm into.
Dude, ever since we did that 23andMe shit, I thought I was all Irish. Well, apparently Ireland was invaded by a whole bunch of people from Norway for a while. And I'm over 60% Norwegian.
How fun.
Just another invading culture of white people.
Love that.
And I am their product. I didn't do it. I don't feel guilty. All right, here we go. Let's bring up a Bethany Votaw story. I assume you'll be reading, Bethany?
Yes, unless my internet cuts out, then just you can read it for me after that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The call broadcasted across the world saying, "We know there are people in this world who have superpowers, abilities beyond our understanding. We understand why you decided to live in hiding, to keep these assets secret, but we need you now. Meet us in Olympus and help us defeat the coming asteroid." I was ecstatic. Never in my life had a call been announced like this before. The world was about to be thrust into utter darkness. The top-tier superheroes have had days to stop the incoming asteroid, the twin to the comet that wiped out the dinosaurs. They were fraternal twins, so it made sense that this one came eons later. It was the final day before that asteroid would hit. It was just a glow in the sky, but it was growing closer. Soon it would look like a second sun. Soon it would be hell on earth. I wasn't excited about death, but the call into the world was the invitation I needed to make myself known, to meet my own personal hero on my final day on Earth. He was the quickest man alive, the strongest, and could get a full night's sleep in only 1 minute. He had it all. The cars, the snacks, the mansion, the love and adoration of the world. He was simply known as the captain. It was my chance. I had been waiting for this moment. My skills were ready. I made my way to the building and the conference room where a few dozen superheroes, known and unknown, sat, their brows furrowed, discussing the incoming doom. And there he was at the end of the table, his slicked back hair starting to come loose, his normally bright eyes tired. I made my way to him and tried not to sound nervous. "Hello, Captain Sir," I said. "I heard your call for anyone with superpowers to make themselves known, to help stop the comet." "We don't have much time," the captain said. "Simply state your ability and plan of action." "I am Carl. I have the divine ability to tell you the events of the past." "What?" "Like, I can tell you what's going to happen, but only after it's happened." "That's positively useless," the captain said. "Well, obviously, I see that now." And he didn't seem impressed, and I can see that now too.
I love it. Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm Carl.
I don't know.
That was
Terry Pratchett is sat somewhere laughing at that, definitely.
oh my God. I can tell you things that have happened after they happen.
See, you got a grandma in there anyway, because they're really good at that, telling you what's happened after it's already happened.
True.
That is kind of grandma's function.
Yep. I initially tried to get this to be like someone going to save the T-Rexes, like I said, meeting their heroes, but it just you saw the ending coming, and so we switched it up.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see that ending coming.
Beat mine into a cocked hat, that.
All right.
But she is the goddess of Flash, so this is why.
I'm trying to move away from dark and creepy all the time. I still like dark and creepy, but that can't be everything.
It can be. So I started noticing something about myself. Like, I tend to write things that make people uncomfortable. And I really tried to get I didn't realize I was doing that on purpose. But isn't that kind of what suspense is?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing to do.
It's like my short story in the collection. Do you remember The Sister? Where I was like,
oh yeah,
this is kind of like I don't like it, but you keep reading it, and you're just like, I don't like this, but you keep reading.
That was a major winner. I got to tell you though, it brought up a lot of anger in me. Your story, a threat to children in all of us. It's funny, they barely moved their faces, but I said a threat to children, and both Don and Colin's faces both hardened.
I don't hurt kids, okay, guys? I just make you think that.
Yeah. Is it? And it's funny, as I said that, I flicked my eyes over. You can see my eyes go looking at you. And instantaneously, they didn't really move. You probably weren't even conscious of it. Both of you kind of went. The thought of it to any healthy adult is to become incredibly uncomfortable instantaneously, and maybe even get a little bit of your fight or flight, even if it's on a subconscious level, get activated. Or for me and Don with a little bit of PTSD, probably activated a little bit uncomfortably. But what I'm saying is I think sometimes you have to touch those primal subjects in order to pull the most out of yourself and out of your reader. And that's what I try to do in most of the stories in my short story collection, which unfortunately one of them has become a major issue in culture since I wrote it, which is to say that I wrote about someone that it's not a mass shooter, but it's something kind of like that, hostage situation, in which could become incredibly uncomfortable in this day and age to read about it. And even though I did write it before kind of that became the cultural event that it did. But I think that sometimes it's important to go there.
Yeah, but I think with Redemption and also with Bethany's prize-winning story, it's that twist that makes that uncomfortableness worth it. As you read through all that, and then you get to that twist at the end, because with Bethany's story, I knew what I was expecting to happen, and it was totally different. And the same with yours. The feelings you invoked throughout paid off at the end. So I think that's what we'll suffer enough discomfort, as long as the writer's in control enough to switch it round and make you realise you were being perhaps a bit making too many assumptions. So it's a good thing.
Damn, Colin, that was really well said, man. I don't think I've ever thought of it from that angle before. It's how it ends up that makes it okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I suppose it really is the ends justify the means, don't they?
It's what you mean by all of that starts mattering, I think.
Your intention, that's it, yeah.
Dude, you got me freaking thinking now. Okay, I can just do anything now as long as I mean well. We're gonna do Don's next. Don, you ready?
You don't have to.
You want to read it?
No, you can.
You want me to read it?
Sure.
I will read it.
Okay, first off, if I would have had more time and thought about it more, because I didn't know where I was going at all. So I don't know. You don't know why they're there. So it's just like the beginning, very beginning, very, very rough. I got to explain first. So just so you know. So when you read it or when you hear it, I'm not happy with it by any means. So
don't defend your story before we read
I
it.
defended it. I'm just telling you.
We'll do the woulda, coulda, shoulda after.
Be ready, people in the chat. Be ready.
I've already read it. It's not that bad. Okay. Here we go. Can you see it, guys?
Nope.
You see it now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
The smell of sulfur
Sorry, I just took a giant shot.
The smell of sulfur filled the air as a cloud of white smoke filled the room. A shadow loomed in the crowd. As the smoke dissipated, an ebony-skinned creature stepped into the light. "Hello," the creature said. Its tail whipped about as he stepped closer to me. Bright white teeth gleamed in its smile. What are you?" I stammered. He bowed low. "Ah, I am called Nightcrawler." My mind reeled, searching desperately for where I'd heard the name. The creature took another step towards me. "You mean like the worm?" I blurted out. The creature sneered. A puff of white smoke filled the area where he was standing. Sulfur filled my nostrils, and I gagged. Smoke enveloped me, and I felt two arms wrap around me from behind. There was a loud crack, and I felt the dizzying spin. The white smoke cleared, and I felt a cool wind blow across my face. I gasped as I looked down. Far, far below was the busy city street. "Do you still think me a creature of the dirt, little man?"
Ooh, I like that juxtaposition of setting right
I like
there.
the flying up thing, man. That was freaking awesome. Okay.
Yep.
Do you know who this is? I mean, this is the first superhero I could think of. He was my favorite when I was growing up.
The teleporting X-Man known as
Nightcrawler.
I didn't
that out to the end, or I would have done a voice. I would have been a voice like Kurt Wagner.
Yeah.
By the time I figured it out, I was already doing that voice.
So,
Did you say this wasn't finished? Because it feels like it's finished with that flash fiction of you want to make your readers feel something. So I felt nervous and uncomfortable. And then that punch of like, do you still think of me as a creature of the dirt? It was just such a good ending line.
I was going to drop the kid because he's holding him. And I was going to drop him. And then he teleports down and grabs him and puts him back into the room he started. And that's where I was going to finish it. But
so here is where
I like that ending.
The genius of this is. And it's from, you didn't have time to go like fine tune your descriptions and stuff. But what you did is you changed, you made a value shift in the story. And so while I could go through here, and one of the things I do as kind of your informal writing coach is I would come through and talk about things like filter words, like felt. We want as few of those as possible. Just tell me what's happening. And you can go through and nitpick those, but what happens here is the value shifts. So here's a kid saying something potentially inflammatory. Yeah, Nightcrawler, like a worm? We going fishing? And then the next second, he is ripped out of where he is, and he's in a critical position. He's on a precipice, on a knife's edge, above the ground where he's powerless and doesn't know how he got there. And it happens. It's a frame by frame shift. So
Let's move that banjo.
what?
I said, move the banjo. In other words, your mic cover. You keep hitting it. Sounds like a banjo being strummed.
It's your pop filter. You're hitting I guess you're hitting your pop filter, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, got it. Thank you. But then it's that critical change in position where he went from kind of making a bad joke to being hundreds of feet off the air or up in the air, and it's kind of a jarring change and a giant value shift. So he went from being, I don't know what you are, and I'm kind of making fun of you, to I'm in a life or death situation, which requires me to make some radical choices, and potentially I don't even have a choice. I'm out of control of the situation. So this can be the genius in a little short piece like this, that you can accomplish that. So good job, man.
Thanks.
Also, superhero.
Yeah, really. I think this is actually a complete piece of flash fiction, Don.
Me too.
Yeah, same.
Beginning, middle, end. It was there.
Well, I have the 5 commandments of storytelling up here, so I was kind of.
That's really good practice.
So I want to do a live stream about the 5 commandments of story, and I want to find people that disagree with it. And I want to find people either that disagree with it or like don't feel like they got to get a handle on it. Because I've had some really cool DM and email conversations about it where people are like, see, you missed this doesn't work, this doesn't work. And I've gone back and forth with them, and most of them have capitulated after going back and reading some of their favorite stuff. But I just want to say that these are just names for things that are. So a lot of people, when they run up against a rule, they're looking for ways around it, and which is a good thing. I think it's part of the rebellious nature and adaptive nature of humanity, and I think it's fucking awesome. But sometimes things have structures that need to be acknowledged, and those that fail to acknowledge them spend a lot of time bouncing up against brick walls. And one of the most important things in the 5 commandments of story to me is progressive complications, meaning things have to get tougher as they go.
Yeah.
And I think you managed that very well in that short piece of Flash, Don, because at first he was confronted by something he didn't understand, but that didn't seem all that threatening aside from being strange. And then it complicated to the point where he was literally in a situation where he didn't even know if he had a choice, that he could change his situation. And that's a victory.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And Bethany did that the same way, but with hers, she kind of made it a joke. So, I mean, she started with the ultimate complication. We're all going to die. It became a personal complication because the layers between her character and their idol got smaller and smaller until they were completely put on point. And with only, everybody gets, you play cards and everybody gets your starting hand, and then you hold them up and you go, this is what I got. He had nothing. He had 2, 6, 7 trash. Like there was no way to make a hand out of what Carl had. And now he was right there at the point where there's no way to prepare anymore. There's no way to come up with some new answer. You got what you got. And you brought us to that in a really intelligent fashion. I thought that was amazing.
Hey, thanks.
Okay, I'm going to go to the audience now, and we're going to see what Flash the audience has for us to read. Oh my goodness, we have some choices. SPIRNTS. Adam Stevenson. Probably shouldn't have said your last name. It's probably rude. Hang on. Was the guy that came up with our prompt for the night. We're going to go to his first. And Adam, I'm going to leave it up to you. Which of these awesome authors here on the screen with me would you like to read your story? Please let me know in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Da, 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 da. Y'all don't want to.
I think Richard says the jury's still out for him on the 5 commandments of storytelling for him. So you might have a fun.
Yeah, we had a short discussion, and I believe I've been tagged in this.
Yep.
A short discussion in Richard on 5 commandments of story, and he had reservations. And there are a lot of caveats to any rule. Do the flat thing again. There are a lot of caveats to rules, bewares, if you will. However, I will tell you that those things do exist, even if you don't want to admit them. And one of the biggest things people get on me about is the resolution, because not every scene resolves.
But it does. It just doesn't resolve in that scene. It resolves later, and it's still a component of that scene.
So to me, the worst thing I can ever read is a scene where nobody makes a choice. And in order to make a choice, we have to be brought to a place where we have to. So something has to happen to knock us out of balance, an inciting incident. Things need to get tougher and tougher so that we can't just continue on the way that we are. Progressive complications. This brings us to a this or this choice. Because of all this inciting incident and progressive complications, that's a crisis that needs to be solved. A climax is where we find out what happens when we make a choice. And a resolution is the consequences of all of that stuff. So I got to be honest. I've had people challenge me on this and try to point out things in stories that didn't have those 5 commandments.
No one has succeeded yet.
Talk to some smart people. I'm waiting to hear it. So anybody that has an answer to that, please let me know in the chat or send me an email or hit me up on my YouTube channel or wherever you like. And I would love to talk about it, because we find a place that that's not the case. Most of the time, they're just giving me a passage of description.
But for now, Kent's about to read Adam's Flash.
That was Colin's nice way of saying, Kent, you're droning.
Ah, you sussed me. Damn.
Go with it. I don't want to. All right, here we go. I'm excited about this one because I haven't read Adam's stuff before. This is going to be a first time right here live. And here we go.
It was dark, cold, and I was out of ice. Another drink would be heavenly, but the idea of getting up off my sofa to grab some from the icebox was daunting. I poured the bourbon into the glass before me and tried it out. I half swallowed and half spat it out, coughed and wheezed. I forced myself back onto the sofa. The streets outside were quiet. They always were on the anniversary of the incident. 5 years since it happened. Another yearly reminder of my humanity. I rubbed my left knee. It still ached. The doctor said it was a phantom pain. Another reminder of my failure, and after that came the image of her face. Sarah, the love of my life. I reached for the glass. The bourbon was terrible, but it would make her face go away. A metallic whistling noise erupted from the opposite of the room as the glass disintegrated in front of me. You don't need that, the voice said. I said nothing. It only took a few years for you to become a professional drunk. Some achievement. The voice was flat. It wasn't a real voice. You a fan or something? I asked. I don't believe you have fans. Not anymore. Not in this city, came the reply. I shrugged, grabbing the bourbon bottle and lifted it to my unknown visitor. To the city! I took a long, hard swig of the bottle. Another whistling noise engulfed the room. I pivoted slightly as a slim thundered into the wall to my right. The bottom half of the bottle slid away, perfectly sliced by it. I looked to the object. It was a metal arrow with green tips. Well, make yourself at home, Oliver Queen. I looked just in time for passing headlights to illuminate his face. He was broader than I had imagined. He looked serious and uninterested. My hero. It's Green Arrow, he demanded. Have you come to celebrate? It's my anniversary, I chuckled. You think this is funny? He said. I nodded. You have failed this city, he shouted, appearing in front of me, an arrow tip inches from my throat.
Bravo.
Hey!
Bah,
Like
bah,
the East
bah.
Comics. Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow.
Mhm.
I like that you have failed this city. That reminded me of the Arrow TV series. Good job, Adam.
Way to go.
Bravo.
I really liked the opening scene of you just got a sense of where emotionally this character is at, and you're just talking about getting ice. That was good.
I sensed guilt and regret. Like this guy had been doing a bunch of stuff wrong. He probably knew he had it coming. He probably lost a family member, and yeah, put me there. I had it.
Yeah. I mean, come on, it film noir. It just had the lot there for me. Great.
All right, let's do another one. Richard Holiday. You're next.
Devin's here. Hi, Devin.
In case you haven't already told me, Richard Holloway, do you have a preference for who will read your piece? Silence. Silence drops across the live stream. Dead air, people. Dead air. Somebody do a trick. Somebody throw a pie. All right.
Sorry, I was flipping in between comments.
Richard Holiday, looks like the title of his is The Misanthrope, which is someone that hates people. I like people. I'm weird that way. Bethany, go ahead and read it. The V2, if you can find. What do you mean version 2? Are you editing? There's no editing.
He said that earlier. He just had to update it a wee bit before he sent the second email.
I can read it, but hopefully there's no difficult words to pronounce.
Like the pronunciate thing.
Speak English real good.
Can you see it, Miss Bethany?
Yes.
Very good. You like me to blow it up any?
That's perfect right there.
I will try and scroll with your reading. Here we go. Richard Holiday, The Misanthrope. Bethany Votaw, take it away.
Anonymous Muzak plucked from a playlist beamed from God knows where, tweeted through speakers buried in the rafters, reverberating through the empty space. It was another dull Saturday evening shift for Elsa. The front counter she manned was festooned with packets of off food tied up in carrier bags. The pungent scent wafted from the back wall to the front counter, twisting around the perspex screens. "Take care, have a nice night," she said gleefully. The old man in front of her nodded and shuffled through the adjacent door, sucked into the wintry void outside. Her smile dissolved the moment the threshold was crossed. Long-nailed fingers picked up the latest return, gingerly picking it up by the ancient shredded plastic bag. The smell rose. Her nose wrinkled. Rotten chicken, juices and all. It shifted in package. Sticky fluid dripped down her blue and purple fleece. Standard issue. Disgusted, she tossed the package of rotten chicken into the pile with a rustle of crinkled polyethylene plastic. "Elsa," Brenda, the supervisor trilled. "Don't leave it like that. What did I tell you? You're the first thing the customers see." "Yeah, sure," Elsa mouthed. Brenda scuttled off with her back turned. Elsa screwed up her face, stuck up hag. Still, earnestly, she began to store the packets of wasted meat in the chiller under the counter. Some had leaked congealing goo, which found its way onto Elsa's fingers. It reeked. From outside, a motor roared into the car park. "Some old banger," Elsa said to nobody. She looked under the counter for the big roll of blue towel. She found scraps. "Brenda!" she shouted. A man entered and approached Elsa's counter. The young girl was still leaned over the far end of the counter, trying to catch the attention of Brenda. She was some way up, propping up the service kiosk. Or was it propping her up? It was hard to tell sometimes. "Service," the man said. Elsa didn't respond. She wiped her fleece down, pushing the stinking meat juices into her synthetic fuzz. "Look, service," the man said, this time loudly. Elsa turned and shuffled down. "How can I help?" The man looked under the brim of a tight baseball cap. From a pocket in the mold green coat, he produced a pack of cigarettes. 2 packs of them, please. Elsa turned, but her eyes looked past her shoulder. The voice seemed familiar. Very familiar. But he didn't smoke. She knew that. For a fact. Button-down cast iron fact. Elsa's hand wavered on the shutter door. She couldn't get that thought, that inconsistency of what she knew out of her head. Tonight, please, the man said. He huffed a big, impatient, pissed-off sigh. Duty called for Elsa. She rolled back the shutters, found the brand he requested, and pulled 2 packets off the shelf. She turned, hardly glancing up. The till beeped twice. $12.70, she said. The man pulled his wallet out, thick, brown, and stuffed. He unbuttoned it. She looked under the peak of the cap, past his glasses. He was buttoned up all right. It was nearly another snow day. The man put his card roughly into the reader. It beeped in complaint. Sorry, can you, he said again. For the love of, there, she said, trying to be warm. Enter your PIN. He did so. The reader beeped again, happily swallowing the injection of electronic pennies and pounds. The receipt printer whirred. Don't bother, the old man mumbled, turning away from the counter. He took 1.5 steps away. Elsa took a deep breath. She had to know. Are you Kenton Stevens? The man stopped. Please, I'm sorry, the man turned quickly. I am, but keep your damn voice down, you stupid girl. I've got all of your DVDs. I've been to... Fuck's sake, stupid girl, Kenton hissed. Can't a man such as myself just get these things in peace? The old grannies are bad enough now. I've got stupid Freshco's girl spotting me. And why does it stink of chicken in here? You not clean up? Christ, they got all sorts here. Elsa's lip could only tremble. But, I'll watch out for you next time I come in, and don't tell anyone I was here. After that, Kenton swiftly made his ignoble exit. Elsa took a sharp breath through her teeth. She picked up the cheap phone under the counter. Brenda? Yeah, I'll take my break now. Right now. What will become of Kenton?
What indeed?
I thought for sure he was going to throw the word aluminum in there just to watch me try and...
Aluminium. Aluminium.
Right, what do we think of Richard's flash here?
I liked it because I'm sure Elsa serves at my local Tesco's, replete with fleece. I love the detail in that, Richard.
Honestly, I didn't know who Kenton was, so I feel like I missed a big piece, but... I
don't know who that is.
I didn't know if he was a real person or not, to be honest.
Same.
I don't think he needs to be. I think it's just...
I think he must have been. But anyway, Richard's just given a fair description of him there.
Is this the end, Richard, or is there more?
Hello?
Hello.
I thought I just set myself... Dude, I'm so bad at computers. Okay, I have another story. So, now that we've enjoyed Richard's lovely submission, and I kind of thought that was interesting because it was like a traditional, almost hero worship thing, but I always kind of wonder what, like, if you're a celebrity and everywhere you go, someone literally wants something from you. Let me take a picture, let me get an autograph, let me do this. And part of you is like, I'm only famous because these people like me. I only have this amazing existence because these people like me. But then also, it'd be really cool to get a pack of smokes without having people ask me for 10 things. It's kind of a weird juxtaposition. Like, what's it like to be in that position? I think that's the best thing for writers to put ourselves in other people's heads and situations and try to figure out, like, what does that actually feel like? And maybe you could be a giant jerk if everybody asked you for something every time you wanted a cheeseburger.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Don?
It just reminded me of a situation I was in. We were on a plane heading to Charlotte, North Carolina. We were heading to Florida. We stopped in Charlotte, and my son saw a rapper that he knew. And I said, just leave him alone. Just leave him alone. Don't even ask him. Because, you know, that's what I was thinking. This guy's bugged all the time. Just leave him go. So, yeah, when I heard that, that's what I was thinking the whole time. So, yeah.
So I lived in California for a while. And way back in the day, we would go up to Planet Hollywood, and I think I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger like 2, 3, 4 times at one of the, I'm not gonna say which one of the Planet Hollywoods, and he would stop for everybody in the room. It was bizarre, and he would smile, and he didn't ever seem to run out of energy or patience for the people that support him, and it was really interesting to see, because you'd think a guy like that's untold wealth and untold, he can do anything he wants every second he wants all the time, but he didn't care who you were, young or old, and he would stop and spend time with you, and he would, like, it was hard not to believe that the smiles and the way that he treated everyone was genuine, because you could feel the energy. He signed a napkin for me. I was dating a really awful girl at the time. It was a long time ago, many years ago. I think it's like 25 years ago, and She stole the signed napkin that I got. She didn't have to get up and talk to him. And I got up and said, "Sir, I want to tell you." And I went to his bodybuilding career because I'm a big fan of that. And I was like, "Hey, man, you know, when you were in South Africa, when you won that title with Lou Ferrigno up against you and a couple other really serious competitors, man, it's one of the most impressive moments in bodybuilding history." And he goes, yeah, let me tell you, it was really difficult. I had to go to this place, and it was so hard. Like, he went on, and he just gave me a quick description. He signed my napkin, and I walked away feeling like, thanks.
That's awesome.
It was amazing.
That's freaking cool.
And then you wonder if he's ever, as he's smiling and saying that stuff, he's ever going, "Leave me alone, people."
Yeah, because you can always catch him tomorrow, because, of course, he will be back. He said.
That was great.
That was good. That was good.
All right, I've got another piece of flash, and I missed it. Sui, who's reading your story? I can't find it. I'm scrolling up. All right, Sui, you got to let me know who is reading your story. And I'm about to pull it up on the screen right here, so you got to tell us. Who is reading the story? Sui is not answering. Arnold Sweaty Knickers. Unfortunately, Arnold Sweaty Knickers is not present to read your story. You would like to select one of the 4 people.
I feel like it's got to be you, but you got to like read it as Arnold. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh my God.
Although that might destroy the flash fiction. So.
I don't think I have the faculties remaining to do that. I need to read the story. But look, I don't mind. You can. Who's you?
You.
This is what you call a pronoun with an unclear antecedent in the writing world. You ever, like, I'll always do that when I'm rereading my stuff and I'm editing. I look for theys and thems and stuff where I'm like, wait, who? Is it clear exactly who that is? A pronoun with an unclear antecedent. I'm going to read your story, Sui. Here we go.
First off, is them's a word? Sorry.
Them's plural. You know, anything can happen.
Hey, man, when I'm writing dialogue, anything goes. If I've heard somebody say it, it's fair game. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. Flash fiction, Sue Olson, Hawkeye.
Nice.
Oh, we're going Ash. Check this out.
The ambulance turned under the gigantic sign. Welcome to the 4077.
Yes. Sorry.
I'd always wanted to visit MASH 4077. Maybe not in these circumstances. I expected as a nurse I'd be deployed to work there to help people. I was not expecting to be a patient. I heard of the infamous Hawkeye Pierce. Womanizer and cad. I wanted to know him for another reason. His hands, his incredible hands. I've heard he has the greatest surgical hands in the field, even if they are a little wobbled by Field Gin. Incoming! The ambulance screeched to a halt. There they were, the stretcher bearers dragging the wounded out of the ambulance. I was next as the stretcher raised. Pain twisted through my body. I blacked out. As I came to, there he was, Dr. Pierce. Don't you worry, we'll have you sorted in just a minute. Your buns will be good as new. I had a wound in my butt cheek. Not the most glorious of wounds, but our vehicle was overturned, and I count myself lucky. Well, hello, welcome back, and nice buns. You're wounded in the buttocks. I hear you're a nurse. Are you planning on sticking around here a while? Only if I can have a drink or two. I hear you have some fabulous high-quality gin. Well, I don't share my gin with just anyone, you know. He shot me a wink. Ugh, he really is a womanizer and a cad. Sorry, Hawkeye. You're not my type. Huh. Guess you're not getting my gin, then. That was unexpected and awesome. All the way back to MASH. Alan Alda, what's up? No, nothing pained white people more than the canceling of MASH. Everybody's like, no. How many years was that show on?
Long time.
Oh, it's seriously a long time. I mean, like the Korean War wasn't even that long.
Yeah, we're still running repeats over here. So,
You know what's funny? Sounds like the chat was pretty fond of the story. What's funny is I'm going to Korea in June, and I'm going to be living there for about 9 months. So
I expect the MASH theme song just to be like playing in your head the entire time.
You know what? I watched that when I was a little kid, and I didn't understand what the war was about, but I understood that it didn't look like a lot of fun. So I became a soldier.
Been there, done that.
I had no intention of becoming a soldier. Just for anybody out there that's listening, thinking about doing dumb stuff, when you fly planes into buildings, guys like me come crawling out of the woodwork to fix the problem.
mm-hmm.
So if you don't want us to activate, I would have been perfectly happy doing something else. But if you want to get me activated, that's how you do it. Anyway, I don't want to talk about politics. I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm glad Adam liked it.
It was cute, Suey. We talk about Klinger a lot, Suey and I.
Oh, Klinger's fabulous.
The best.
But so's Radar.
I have another piece of flash. Martin Lejeune. By the way, I just want to give a giant compliment to Martin Lejeune. As I was slogging through some reads in my last short story competition that maybe weren't the best, because I had like 7 stories in a row that were so good I couldn't wait to get to the end. And then I hit a patch that was difficult. And right in the middle of those was a gem. And it was Martin Lejeune's This Post Box Has a Time Hole in It. I had a blast reading it. And I have to say, it's never a bad time to write something funny.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Never a bad time to have a bit of fun. Like, everything doesn't need to be super serious, whatever. And it was a blast. It meandered. It was amazing. We messed up time. Actually, it could have pretty broadly sweeping implications. They may have like screwed up the space-time continuum, but whatever.
Butterfly effect.
Available now on Amazon. Okay. I missed it. If you didn't, tell me. Martin, who would you like to read your story? Nobody, just, no rush. I think I'm not going to lie, I'm getting a little sloshy. They don't want it to be me. Colin reads really well. Come on, Martin, who do you want to read your story? Let us know. Okay. A really bad idea would be to finish the 4th of these double shots. But I'm going to do it.
It really would. It would make it funny.
You can read it, Kent. All of you. Colin reads amazing. He didn't even stutter one word, and you gotta make me do it. And I'm just fine. Okay, here we go. I'm just kidding, man. I can smash this shit all night and still be good to go. There's something wrong with me. Oh wait, no, there isn't. I'm Norwegian and Irish.
That's fitting. It works.
Maybe it makes a lot of sense. And I'm a soldier. Who knew? I'm a cliche. Great. All right. I can't find his thing. I just made it. Talk amongst yourselves.
So how do you feel about flash fiction, Don? Are you going to try again?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Send me your stuff anytime.
I joined a class, and unfortunately, things was bad timing for the post office at the time. So I didn't get to do the class, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I worry about classes. And I mainly worry about them because these people want your money, and there's no, like, they don't have any incentive in your career. Their only incentive is to get you to buy the class. So I kind of wonder if they're blowing smoke up your ass or if what they're selling is really worth getting. I'd rather have a good critique partner than take a class. But that doesn't mean that classes are bad. I don't know what you guys think.
Depends on who's teaching the class.
Right.
If it's somebody like Sanderson, I think you could learn a fair bit. But then again, I've watched all his online lectures. I suppose you have as well, Don. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be our last piece of flash. I have a few.
Good.
So we're not gonna
Pay attention.
now I got to find it. I think this is it. That's it. All right, guys, here we go. Ooh, there's big words in this. I'm confused already. All right, here we go. Martin Lejeune. Hey! The guy yelled at the front of the crowd. Barry watched in horror as the legend stood frozen to the spot. He was on the pyramid stage at Glastonbury, the first festival after the hiatus, and this was how things were going to close. The legend himself was here. The leg. Barry had not believed it when the lineup was announced. Leg's work was the stuff of, well, legends. But here he was closing the festival and had bottled it. Barry had seen all of Leggy's concert videos from the Isle of Wight in 81 to the Isle of Wight in 99. He made a move to run the stage. Standing at the front of the crowd for 12 hours, pissing into a bottle would be worth it, if only he could save the show. Barry dropped the warm bottle, the fans around him crying out in surprise and disgust as it splashed them on its way down and made his way forward to the stage. He leaped the fence in front of the stage, landing plumply on a photographer in a bright yellow high-vis jacket, shooting an out-of-date Canon DSLR who shook his fist furiously at Barry, who started to leg it full pelt toward the stage access. But by this point, the two closest security goons were already making a beeline for him. It's cool, yo. I've got clearance, yelled Baza, flashing his clearance. The security guys came to a stop, both threw Barry a salute. He ran up to the stage where the legend was still frozen on the spot. Don't worry. I got this, Barry told him, lifting his world-famous Stratocaster from Lego's arms. Baza had been moonlighting as the legend since 94 when he entered the Great Toddler Song Contest and knew exactly what to do. He broke into that famous song where everybody remembers the video but can never remember the name, and the crowd went wild, absolutely delighted and awed. God blimey, this guy's even better at being legend than Leggy, the leg master himself, yelled one enthusiastic fan. He then continued his set for a full 2 hours. Legend was not happy. I'm really not happy about that, said the legend. So I said, Baza. Figured the show needed saving. Well, it kind of did, but you made me feel bad about my life choices, said Legend, who'd spent the last 90 minutes regretting his drug addiction due to the crippling stage fright and how it removed his enthusiasm for sex with girls. Now, my only question at the end is, did it remove his sex enthusiasm for others? That's where my mind goes. Well done, Martin.
Yeah.
That reminded me of the movie where Mark Wahlberg plays like a singer that he's basically in a tribute band for, I think it's supposed to be Judas Priest is what it's based on. And he becomes the Judas Priest singer when all the other guys find out that he's gay and they don't want him to be the singer anymore. But I'm like, really, a gay musician? That's so rare. Nobody would ever.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Breaking the law, breaking the law. It's a good song. Anyway, I mean, Queen, one of my favorite bands of all time. Not sure that I cared that Freddie Mercury was gay. But anyway, that twist took me by surprise when he jumped on the stage and started playing the music.
That was a funny piece. That.
Yeah, that was good, man. I think Martin kind of has a talent for the humorous story. Stop it.
Aluminium.
Stop it.
That says aluminum.
Aluminum. Yeah.
No, it definitely says aluminium.
Aluminum.
I mean, why say something briefly and concisely when you can drag it out and suck?
Because we're British. We've been doing that with every country we've ever been to. So.
I have been to the UK and I am a fan. I've been to Scotland, UK, and Ireland, and I love them all. And I gotta say, it's you guys want to act like we're all that different, but I always feel like I'm going to visit slightly strange Americans.
You're like strange cousins.
Yeah.
Across the pond.
I gotta tell you, the only thing that's weird that really crazed me out in London and in Ireland too is you go from one neighborhood to the next, and they're not like us over there. Like you guys are like 18 feet apart, and then they're like, "Oh, we don't. Those guys over there are crazy." And I'm like,
well, I'm a West Londoner, not an East Londoner. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like all of Europe. Like when I was a kid, I thought of Europe. I'm like all these different countries, and I would always think they're just the same size. They're smaller than our states.
mm-hmm.
Like you're like, in Germany they do it this way. Why can't we do it? I'm like, because there's 25 people there. 350 million here. You can't copy what they're doing with 25 million people. 350 million people.
That's actually true what Martin just said there. Careful calling Ireland British. People have died for less.
Yeah, which is funny because I have actual first cousins in Ireland. But anyway, yeah, it's not the same thing.
Oh, there you go. Richard's a South Londoner.
In the Belfast part of the Casey family, my mom's side of the family, are always like still talking about the war of occupation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's get political. God, that was amazing.
Yeah.
A flat written in 16 minutes with no prior knowledge of what they're going to write. That's kind of impressive.
What's really
I'm still bummed we didn't do dinosaurs, but also it kind of worked out, so I can't be too mad.
Yeah, I can't believe how much Richard and Adam and Martin managed to write in 8 minutes.
I know,
And
crazy.
completely.
I think me and Don actually had the shortest pieces.
Oh my.
Well, I don't think mine was very long. It was only 300.
We got to do this again. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. This is good.
Okay.
Good practice.
Before we wrap up this amazing live stream, we've already gone 2 hours, and I honestly couldn't write or read anything else. Because I decided to go hard in the paint because I'm actually about to take a break from alcohol. I think I'm going to give myself a drink or so tomorrow night, and then I'm going to try to do 100 days completely alcohol free. And I'm going to do 100 days of exercise every day because I got inspired by my friend Laurel Webb. Go check her out.
She's so cool.
Yeah.
I do work out really regularly, but I'm going to do 100 days every day, no days off, and no alcohol. And Sue is
Yeah. Yeah. Not when you get to midnight and you've run out of wine. That's the thing. I'll have to make sure I stock up next time we do this.
Yeah. thank you so much for being here, Don. And this is amazingly brave for a writer that hadn't been doing it as long as Don to write something in real time in front of other people.
Mhm.
This is the kind of stuff, when I say write brave, this is what I mean. This is how you make yourself a real damn writer. Is get out there, put your toes in the pond, see what the water feels like. And before you actually register whether it's warm or cold, dive all the way in.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It was fun. It was fun.
Good.
I'm really seriously excited about Don's first book that he's working on right now. He's already come a long way in such a short time. Wrote a legit short story for the anthology. And it's just amazing to watch Don. You're an inspiration to everybody. Colin Clark, I'm constantly amazed by the amount of talent that is in your beard. And
It's getting longer on it.
and how you paint pictures on the page, man, and it's really impressive to watch. And
Thank you.
And Bethany Votaw, I honestly never knew what it would be like to have a sister. I feel like I got one now. And you're a real partner in crime. And when I'm panicked about it, Bethany Votaw, I should be paying her hourly as a psychiatrist. So I'm the psychology. I'm the one doing the psychology. And whenever I'm just panicked and can't figure out what I should do next, I message Bethany because she always knows how to say the right thing. Bethany brings people together from all across this community, and she is an incredibly talented writer. I don't know what to say. Thanks for being you, Bethany.
Mhm.
Thank you. And I feel like it goes both ways. Like sometimes you're panicked and I say, hey, you haven't slept in 24 hours. You should probably do that. And then I'm like, what do I do with this business thing? And you're like, I already figured that out. It's great. I love this little community of ours. It's just so fun because it's easier to write bravely when you have a community like this.
Mhm. Yeah.
No, Sui, you do not have to wait 100 days for the next Drinking Live. I'll just drink
Water.
or tea. I'll drink tea in honor of all of my friends across the pond. I actually like tea, even though I've blown it up multiple times in my videos. For everybody that's watching now and everybody that was probably going to watch later, because a bunch of weirdos came and watched the last one after we put it up. And it's over, I think, 4,000 minutes of watch time. So a whole lot of people watched a whole lot of the last video. Let me just say this. Come and put your toe in the water and give it a try and write a short story for
Oh, here it comes.
the prize pursuing, emotion evoking, drama demolishing, sinfully scintillating, simile scrambling, trope torpedoing, terribly titled short story competition.
Especially terribly titled, but we'll give you a small pass.
Of Doom!
Oh my goodness, yes. How could I forget?
I like the interruption. It made it even more dramatic.
I forgot that was even part of it. I just got to the terribly titled and I was like, yes, I concur.
Go check it out and sign up for Bethany's newsletter. Sign up for my newsletter, kentshawn.com. And also look out for the short story anthology from the Twisted 10 coming March 1st, The Season of Darkness, which will feature Don White and Bethany Votaw. Check
March 20th.
The Writiest Files on YouTube, where you can find out I learned more about steampunk in a couple of minutes of listening to him. Straightforward, no nonsense, explained it all. Now I can feel like I could actually write in that genre. Thank you, Colin. Look at the channel. And also he reads his story on the death of the old man, which is now down off my website. So if you want to go check it out, I honestly think the right move is to go to the Writiest Files and listen to Colin read it.
Oh, it's so great the way he narrates it. It adds just like a new depth to it.
Dear Lord.
It's
Thank you, and thank you again, and thank you. And perhaps I'll record a new video. I haven't recorded one for 2.5 months.
It has been a minute, man. The last one was the Orla's first anthology, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did a couple of audios after that, I think, or one.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe one short story or flash fiction, something. Yeah.
Okay, so follow all these people on all the things. I've got them linked below. And everybody, let's just put tons of pressure on Don White to start his videos.
Yeah.
do it, Don.
He's got some serious video editing talent. And also, if you didn't know, Don White has done voiceover work and audiobook work himself.
But there you go.
Oh,
See?
Don, we need to talk.
Yes, next time I've got 2 characters in a
Okay,
audio book.
guys, thanks for coming. This has been Don't Drink and Live, which is
Episode 2.
actually what we did.
Yeah.
But one more toast to everybody here in chat, everybody watching, everybody that will watch in the future.
Good night, all.
That's out there trying to be a writer. We salute you.
Salute.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night, guys.